Alright. Hey yo, thank you for joining me for a Galaxy Heroes video today. I think it'll be a fun one. I'm going to be going over how I intend to red crate for these next group of conquests here. I'm very excited for Darth Bane, of course. My roster has always been very Sith heavy. So here we are. I just set these up today. I feel like we got all this information on short notice. The kit, the finding out about the conquest coming up. I mean, it's coming this week, and we did get the feats data mined and everything, which is fantastic. But I just feel like it's very abrupt. I feel like we just got out of conquest. I mean, the new bow is already available. The upgraded version of Bo Katan. Her epic confrontation is going on right now, and literally people just unlock the ability. It's pretty wild, but at the same time, this is kind of what I wanted when Leviathan was coming to the game. I wanted people who got Malgus and Fury class Interceptor day one to be able to immediately unlock it and rise to the top. And so we had to wait weeks for that to happen. And I was a little frustrated with that because, like, it was kind of sold as like, oh, get in, get now, get in and get to the top of the peak now before everybody else catches up. And then there was a couple of weeks where we were just kind of sitting waiting for the event. So I actually appreciate that it came on such short notice. It's a little grimy. Grimy, is that the word I want? It's a little ambitious for them to include feats for the new character from the last Conquest. And also, there's so many feats here that would be, I think, significantly easier with the new bow. I'm going to go over how I plan on doing it. Obviously, I love comments, suggestions, discussion. So we'll hop right into it. The first feat that we have is a global feat. Now, one of them is defeat 250 enemies on the Golden Challenge path. I consistently am getting this done in like Sector 3. So I don't think it's anything that you need to go out of your way for. It's just that golden path, the challenge path. Usually you're going to be getting... I'm always going to the top because I want all those extra data discs, because those can really impact your play. Now, I don't look at the data discs beforehand. I know those were probably data mined as well. I don't look because when I have looked, I've planned on data discs that I've never got the chance to pick up. And it's not like they were like, the 4-star purple or anything. I just... because it is such a crapshoot, I'm just like, okay, if I can find these, great. If not, if they're not even in the rotation, oh well, right? First global feat that we're going to talk about is First Order. I have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, so I have options. I can use a Hux lead against like CLS squads, or even against like Tuskens, things like that. I can use a Kylo Ren on mass lead. So there's options there, but that First Order squad up top is pretty much what I'm going to use to easily get through a lot of these. And I'm going to use them pretty heavily. We do have to get 40 battles with them. I don't think that'll be a problem. I'm going to be using them a lot in rotation because, you'll see here in a moment. A lot of the plan that I have here has a lot of overlap, right? So the next one is Lightside Mando Survive. Not really anything I've worked on yet. So those are kind of like the best Lightside Mandos I have. Bam Lead. I'm not sure how well that will go because there's only one scoundrel on the team anyway. So I might want to try the Bo Katan lead. I've never used it, so I have no idea. But we'll experiment. We'll move that around. The Mandalorian, the original, he's not as good without being able to hit his contract and get that insta-kill. So I really don't know. Maybe I'll move him to the lead. I have no idea yet. It's kind of a crapshoot at this point. And of course, without being able to use Maul, because Maul, he's Relic 8, he's ready to go. He can carry a Mando team, but because it's light side Mandos and they all have to survive, I really don't know how I'm going to do it. but we're going to try to find a way to get it done, data disc and stuff like that. If I find a trick or a secret, I will go ahead and share that. And if anybody else sees this and says, hey, I have a better idea, go ahead and let me know. Ewoks surviving. We've done this in the past. It's not perfect. My Paplu and my Log Ray are not great. I think they're both like year 7, 8, 9. Basically, they were good enough to get C3PO, and then I never touched them again. But with Princess Kanisa, she puts out a good amount of damage. So we've been able to get this done a couple of times in the past. Rebels, I got 2 teams here that are kind of like basic teams. I don't think anybody can talk about Rebels without mentioning CLS. I think that CLS squad is end all be all of Rebels besides having a Galactic Legend in the faction now. And then, of course, I've got Leia. Might as well use her. That first 4 there is pretty standard, I think, in terms of like how I read her kit. That 5th slot, I put in a couple of different things. I like Kyle Katarn. He has a buff, a couple of them that we're going to be utilizing later in the sectors. Crit chance up, as well as potency up. So we'll rely on that a little bit. But I do like Kyle Katarn in that spot if I'm not worried about like making a Mon Mothma team, because I just like how aggressive he can be. Leia can call him out of turn. Drogon can call him out of turn. So you can still get to his bonuses and everything. So I do like him in that spot. VRSP at kills. It's really just my standard Imperial Trooper team. I don't think that. Obviously, Dark Trooper is going to steal a fair amount of those kills, but my Dark Trooper is only Relic 1. That's something that's on the back burner that I've been wanting to move up, you saw my roster. I have a couple of things I need to take to Relic 7 for Rise of the Empire deployments. 2 of them are Tuskens, and so those will be used during the Conquest runs here, so that works out pretty well anyways. Beskar Mando. This team is great for unaligned Force users, or like the no unaligned Force user, no Jedi, no Sith. This team has variations where you keep people alive. It is very good at that. You need Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony to make that work well. But it is doable, and even with my low Beskar Mando. So, I like to put that team in because I'll swap it in and out. Like I said, there's different variations trying to get people to stay alive as well, but we'll show those in the sectors as well. So yeah, a lot of overlap. Han, Chewie, Bam. There's a lot of overlap, even just in the global feats. So I'm gonna have a very, very tired. I can tell you right now, my Leia and my Rey are going to be very tired throughout most of Conquest here. But here we are, Sector 1, Resistance. Here we go. How many battles with Resistance do we need? That is 14. Not bad, not terrible at all. This is like, if you watched any of my videos about how to unlock GL Rey, this is the team I was using anyways. I love how the heroes work together, BB-8 pump and turn meter to the team, and all those buffs. Pretty great. We need to get Adapt or Die 50 times, and that is Iden Versio's special, her second special there, is going to give that to anybody who doesn't have the leader tag or droid tag. She's pretty stout. She's pretty tough, even at Relic 1. I think that's going to be able to handle a few of the lower teams. Hopefully that does well in whatever the Datacron farming node is. And again, Dis should be able to help with some of that. So they are under geared, but hopefully we'll be able to pull through. Saw kills. We've done this a couple of times as well. Pretty easy. I have 2 different variants. One with Voluntary Vanguard, if we do get the disc, and one without. Without, you're going to use Wat Tambor to put the shield tech on Jedi Master Luke, and then everything else is about calling Saw in and letting him do all the damage for us. 500 dots. It sounds like a lot, But honestly, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. You have Lord Vader here. He's going to be hitting people with automatic damage over time. You pass him another turn with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and you're cooking with a whole bunch of them. If you're against a team that has a cleanse, like a Padme team, or if they have Jedi Knight Revan, and he cleanses the entire team, right? Darth Vader is going to reapply all of those dots. So if you get 40 dots on them, right, they cleanse them all, then you're going to hit them all for 200 dots. You're halfway done, right? So I don't think that's too bad. IG droids. Now, if you're like me and you didn't really have IG 12 and Grogu leveled up or geared up or anything, you might not know this, but it took me about 15 minutes to find that dude because he doesn't have the droid tag. So I thought that was a little weird. But the feat does say win with 5 IG series droids. There they are. And then Drogon Survive. I think that one's pretty easy. Now, the IG droids and Drogon Survive, I think those are both, those are the mini boss and the boss. And so, for the Drogon Survive, I do have the extra tank there with Cara Dune. I do like her in that spot. I think she's a lot of fun, especially against Empire teams. Again, I don't know what the bosses are or anything, but that is an option there, having another tank to help keep them off of Drogon. Sector 2, we have Bounty Hunters, and we just have to win 14 times with them. I don't have Jabba, but this team is tried and true. I mean, I've gotten through plenty of the exact same feat with this team. You have Mando's ability to one-shot somebody, plenty of damage going out. You also have, especially if you get like a volatile accelerator, you're going to be putting out so many debuffs that it keeps your whole team at full health the whole time. Potency up and confuse. We have to hit potency up 40 times, which is not going to be a problem. I have 2 options for that. Confuse, I think I'm a little worried about. I only have C3PO. Now, I don't know, I don't have Afra, I don't have Jedi Knight Cal. There's a lot of things I don't have, so I don't really know their kits. But as far as I know, and again, this is specifically my roster, I don't have anything else that causes confusion. If anybody else has another option for confusion, I'd love to know. Maybe I start working on that before these 3 conquests are up. Who knows? But you're going to need C3PO if you're me, so that's how I plan on doing it. Potency up, Kyle Katarn has that on his first special. He'll give the entire team potency up. And then the other option I have for that, we also need Empire kills. So Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, they can 2-man a whole slew of teams out there. You have a fast, potent Mara Jade. She goes through, she applies all the debuffs, she takes multiple turns. You feed turn meter to Emperor Palpatine, and then he's basicking the whole time. We have Malik there, so when you shock everybody, he gets taunt. Sith Empire Trooper for the pre-taunt. Sith Marauder there for the potency up. His special will also give you your entire team potency up. So that's another 5 potency up right there. Each time you end up using it. And also it'll reduce somebody's max health if it crits, which makes it easier for everybody else to kill. Obviously mine is Relic 9. He might even steal the kill there, but it is what it is. We're trying to get the potency up and Empire kills at the same time, and I think that'll do pretty well. One of the mini boss feats is to get a Scout Trooper kill. So it's basically my normal Imperial Troopers with Scout Trooper instead of the Dark Trooper. Hopefully that'll handle that. And win with Jedi Training Ray surviving. I have Rey with Ben, BB-8, Amlin to help. Amlin has a heal skill. She also has the ability to taunt every single time BB-8 or Jedi Training Ray lose foresight. So hopefully that'll help alleviate some of the aggro that she's going to take. And if Jedi Training Ray sits around on a Ray team long enough, her mastery gains are so potent that she ends up just dodging everything anyways. So if it does end up being a long battle, Jedi Training Ray should make it through just fine. Now, Sector 3. This is what I was talking about earlier. 14 battles with a squad full of Tuskens. we've done this, and these guys weren't even this well geared up. And so we know this works against Mon Mothma. We know this works against teams like Imperial Troopers, teams that gain turn meter, teams that attack out of turn, that kind of stuff. Even with my Tusken Chieftain not being done, it's again, that's one of the projects that I'm working on. This team pulls weight. This team does the job. It will do it in Grand Arena too. I use them to beat, not in 3v3, but in 5v5. I use them to beat Mon Mothma all the time. Crit chance up. We actually have 3 instances of crit chance up here. Kyle Katarn's first special, like I said, not only gives potency up, but it gives that crit chance up. That gives that to the whole team. Basilishan can give it to one person with her first special. And Jedi Master Luke, once we hit his ultimate, will also give everybody crit chance up. So we need to do that how many times? 40 times. You could probably do that in one match. If you draw the match out long enough that you get to his ult, you might have done enough to get the 40 in one go. Heat. So heat only comes from one character, Paz, and I only knew that because of his event. I literally had him level 50 until just a little while ago, and gear 0. And so, just checking my battery here, it's charging. And so, Bo-Katan in the lead here, light side Mando, Sabine, Armorer, IG-12, again, Bo, Paz, and IG-12. I literally just leveled up from 50 to 85. They already had some mods on them, but I'm sure they are not very good. We're going to be relying on some data discs to hopefully carry us through some of those, because those are the ones that I worry about the most, are the light side Mandos. And obviously Heat for Paz. Days. The Inquisitors are fantastic at days. Ninth Sister can apply that to the entire team, guaranteed if they're Jedi. Seventh Sister will apply it on her first special, as well as take away turn meter, ability block, all that good stuff. This is going to be great against gas. It's going to be great against any Jedi composition they have out there for us to kind of mow over. Another option for days. Again, my Rey is going to be very tired. That's why I try to put as many teams together as I can to solve some of these puzzles here. But days, we got Jedi Training Rey. Holdo has a mass days, so she can hit everybody, put days. Poe also has a days. And that also works towards the Resistance faction feat, so I can't really beat that. One of the let's see, is this for one boss battle or 2? Okay, so the mini boss is Commander Luke Skywalker and Moff Gideon surviving. So that's the Bam Han Chewie. Again, those 3 can usually get through a match pretty quickly. I've had them bring people through to survive who were level 50, gear 0, and all that. So they definitely can do it. Jedi Knight Cal surviving. I do not have, and then the reason I put the Inquisitorius tag on that other team here is the boss will have a feat for completing it with all Inquisitorius. So you also get the days in the boss battle there. So I think these feats aren't too bad. Again, the main feats I'm worried about are the light side Mandos and Heat. Phase 4 or Sector 4 here. Light side unaligned force users, and so we need to use that team 14 times. I think this will do pretty well. I don't see it. I mean, Rey and Ben are pretty good in tandem. I think Visas brings some fun mechanics, because as long as she has no debuffs on her, there's a good chance that she's going to counterattack and stuff like that. She's a lot of fun. I used to use her in Grand Arenas to solo Imperial Troopers teams back before Piet. So, crit damage up and expose. You're going to get that off of Malchus's basic. There's not too many ways. He's going to give that to the entire team every time he uses his basic, so that's going to be no problem. Expose, you're going to get a lot of that from Basilishan Fallen. Yeah. She's able to throw that out all over the place. This is a team that I'm going to rely on heavily in Sector 4 just because of those 2. Crit damage up 40 times, expose 100 times. Drogon kills, we're going to do the same thing as we did with Saw. He probably doesn't need it. I probably could use my rebels here, but this is the only sector where I don't have them used, extensively. So I figured give her a break and let her brother do some of the work here. Captain Rex survive. I believe that is a boss feat. Let's double check. Yep, that's the mini boss feat. Again, super easy. I love Dash Rendar in that in the third spot after Han, Chewie, and Bam. So actually, fourth spot. And so he applies so many debuffs that if you do have the Amplify Agony, he's just going to wreck the whole team. He is so good in that spot. Last one is Leia Organa surviving, and also no unaligned Force users or Sith or Jedi. And even though she should be an unaligned Force user, oh well, let me double check real quick. Okay, perfect, yeah. Even though she should be an unaligned Force user because of what we know, especially in the sequel trilogy, she does not have that tag. So that team will satisfy both requirements there. Sector 5, clone kills. Again, so I always get picked on for my 501st. Apologies. I just haven't had time and resources. So my 5s and Rex are a little lacking, but I think this team can still do work, especially with Echo and Arc throwing some serious damage out. General Skywalker is obviously going to steal a fair amount of those kills, so I have a second option here as well. And I think the Bad Batch is the way to go for a lot of things out there, like if they've got droids or something like that. I think that'll do really well. Staggers, Mara Jade, and Basilishan will pile staggers on very quickly. Foresight. How many staggers did we need, anyways? Staggers are 300 staggers, so you do need a fair amount of those. Foresight, 300 times. This Rebel build here is going to give you so many instances of Foresight against Empire enemies, and it counts as a full Rebel team, so that is super nice here. Right. Because we do need 40 battles with a full Rebel squad. So, like I said, some of these guys are going to get very tired. I know R2D2 is probably going to be exhausted. C3PO, Cara Dune, but this team I think will be a nice little tag in that we can use. It gives a lot of foresight, not only from Leia's Rebel Officer Leia. Her leadership will give everybody foresight every time they take damage from an Empire enemy. But Princess Leia gives herself foresight. R2D2 gives somebody foresight. I think this will do pretty well. Inquisitors are also great for foresight. Seven Sisters heal. When she targets a Inquisitor, will give the entire Inquisitorious faction foresight. So she's got mass foresight there. We also need Iden kills in this zone. 10 Iden kills. I don't think that'll be too bad. I switched out the other two very poorly geared Imperial troopers for two very poorly geared Imperial trooper tanks. So that should work just fine there. And then one of the boss feats is Dark Trooper Moff Gideon surviving. So again, I don't know anybody personally who has that, except maybe Jarlath. He might have him. Anyways, but I know nobody in my guild has him. I don't think. Anyways, and then the boss feat is a full squad of resistance units, so that again we'll get that done, just like my Galactic Legend event team. So yeah, that is what I plan on running. That is hopefully gonna get me through and make it easy for me. We will go ahead and see, but if you guys have any suggestions, any feedback, if even if there's something that you didn't know about somebody's kit that you're like, oh cool, I can't believe I'm going to be able to use, Sith Marauder for potency up, let me know in the comments. I do my best to try to help everybody. Again, thank you so much for hanging out, and hope you guys have a great rest of the day. May the force be with you.